Hey folks, we're talking about taters today. So y'all stay tuned and we're going to show you all we know about it. Alright, first thing you want to do is get yourself some seed taters. Pretty much any tater will work. What you don't want to do is go to the big box stores and try to pick you up some potatoes and then think you're going to turn them into seed taters, because most of the time those guys are sprayed with spud stoppers and growth retardants and stuff like that to keep those spuds from growing out. So we usually don't get them from there. We like to go a little bit further up a road. We drive about an hour to get our seed taters up in Virginia. Make sure they're nice organic taters, ain't sprayed with nothing, and we'll bring them home. They'll look just like this right here with not a whole lot going on. We'll stick them under the house for maybe a little over a week, and they'll start growing some eyes for us, and then we'll put them in the ground. Now after we get the eyes or the little sprouts on our potatoes, what we'll do is we'll cut them and let them lay out and dry for a couple days, and then we'll plant them. People down in South Georgia, they like to get their taters in the ground around Valentine's Day. February the 14th they like to try. That lets us know we have 7 to 14 days to get our potatoes in on the early side. Well, those guys are behind too, because they've had crappy weather just like we have. So we're already late getting these things started. We're going to go ahead and drop them under the house. This is what they look like right now. Ain't a whole lot going on. And we'll take you guys back under the house in about a week or so and show you what they look like and what we do next. Y'all stay tuned. Okay guys, so here's some of our seed potatoes. As you can tell, they have a few eyes. There's not much going on with them right now. So we're going to take them and put them into the house. We know these potatoes hadn't been sprayed with anything, so we're going to go ahead and just stick them in a bucket and stick them under the house there, and we'll show y'all what they look like in about a week or so. Okay guys, here we are. It's been 7 days. We've got some of our Yukon Golds out from under the house, along with some of our reds. I'll walk you guys over here and show you what they look like after 7 days. Okay, here's some of our Yukon Golds that we had under the house, and you can tell those eyes grown significantly, and that's exactly what we want right there, guys. Now all we're going to do is split those potatoes and make sure there's an eye or two on each one of those pieces, and that'll ensure we're going to get that piece to come up, which is the reason why we don't cut off each eye in a smaller sliver and try to use each one of those eyes for a potato. We're going to go ahead and get a couple of these potatoes cut and show you what they look like before we put them in the ground. Alright guys, we got our Yukon Golds cut around and show you this is pretty much how we cut them. We just want to ensure that we have at least a couple of those eyes on each one of these pieces. The reason why we try to have at least 2 or 3 on each piece and not try to cut them off one and put it in the ground that way is because we're not ensured that each one of these are going to come up and be a plant. So we always like to have at least 2 or 3. We always like to have at least 2 or 3 on them. That way we ensure ourselves that at least one of them is going to come up and we're going to have a harvest off that spud. So this is just a little small tip of the iceberg, guys. We got a whole lot of potatoes to do. We're going to continue to cut all of our potatoes golden red just like this. Then we're going to take them over here and we're going to put them in their cure buckets and we're going to let them superize over. So guys, I just wanted to mention, once we get them like this and we place them under the house, they'll be good for several weeks. If we have to leave them under there, they'll be good for several weeks before we have to take them and put them out. So you know, if we have more bad weather, more rain or snow, and it's just going to be too wet to put them out there, then we will have no problem just leaving them where they're at for, you know, several weeks. So just in case you guys was wondering on that, these things are pretty tough once they superize over. And all right, let's go ahead and get the rest of this project going. Okay guys, for those of you that don't know, we're going to show you how we cut through our potatoes. We just simply cut the potato in half, making sure we don't cut in between any eyes, and make sure we leave an eye on each piece. Alright guys, so now that we have our potatoes cut, we're just going to let them sit for a couple of days, at least 2 days, until they superize and cap over. Now just in case you're wondering, why can't you just plant them now as soon as you cut them? You can do that, but the problem with that is if you don't give them time to heal, if you have any moisture at all, or just the slightest bit of rain, your taters is going to turn into mush, and by the time you go out there to check them, there won't even be anything left. Now there are a few folks that buy some bark and dip their cut side of the potato in and plant it the same day to ensure that there's no fungal or disease that gets on the cut side of the potato. And you can do that. It works perfectly fine, but we go ahead and just plant a couple of days ahead and save the money anyway. Alright guys, we hope this helps you. This is how we do our potatoes in the spring. We also do the same thing in the fall. You guys have any questions, you can definitely email us or leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again on the next.